Just before we get into this video, if you want all things Norwich City, download the Canaries app now. The one link is in the description down below, and you can also download it as developed by Fanzine.com on Twitter, and you can download it through your iOS or Android app. It's an independent social for all things Norwich City Football Club. Let's get into this Donny Rovers video. Hello there guys, I am the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers channel, and welcome to today's edition of the DRFC Daily Reports, bringing you the latest news and transfer headlines from Doncaster Rovers Football Club, the great red and white. You can see I've not worn the scarf in a while, so I thought I'd pop it on. So we've got a packed video today. We've got three big stories to talk about. One about a former player, and one about fans, and one about one of our current loanees. So today, we're going to be discussing a report from the Free Press on how scoring goals and the development of JohnJules will help his Arsenal dream. We're also going to be talking about fans not being back in the stadiums on October 1st due to what's happening with the coronavirus at the minute. And the last story comes from actually Portsmouth, because our former player John Marquis has received loads of support after drawing a blank in the draw with Rochdale back on Sunday. So before we get started guys, make sure you like the video if you've loved it, make sure you comment down below your thoughts, make sure you also subscribe to the channel for more, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video, and for now, let's get into talking about some Doncaster Rovers Daily Reports. So the first story comes from the Free Press, and it's from Tyreece John-Jules, who knows hitting the goal trail with Doncaster Rovers will help his Arsenal dream. He's been tipped to break into the Arsenal first team in the future, but Tyreece John-Jules knows he must hit the goal trail with Doncaster Rovers first and foremost. The striker got up to the mark with Rovers with his superb solo effort in the win against Charlton Athletic on Saturday, and he knows he must find the net regularly this season if he is to make the most of his first full campaign in senior football and realise his ambition of starring for the Premier League Giants. He told the Free Press, "I want to score a lot of goals in the men's league. That's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day for me, scoring goals. I want to do that and help the team. I guess the physical side is a lot different to the under-23s, and it's what I need to experience men's football. My coach at Arsenal just said to go, get experience, score goals and come back a better player. They said to be the best that I can be, so I'm trying to do that." It's been reported that the majority of League One clubs inquired about the possibility of signing JohnJules on loan, while they also had suitors from the Championship. But he said Rovers stood out as a complete package for a potential loan move, with the persistence of manager Darren Moore paying off. He said to the Free Press, "I spoke to the manager before I came and he showed a lot of trust in me. He saw my potential. He said he'd work closer with me, and that's what I need to improve. The manager likes to play good football on the floor. It suits my style of play. It was another big reason why I wanted to come here. He was very crucial, has been persistent with trying to get me in. I like when a manager shows that he trusts me, which he's been doing. We have had a lot of conversations before and during my stay, and I'm happy with how things are going. He is a great manager." So big story there from Tyreece John-Jules. The fact that, scoring goals, continuing his development will help him break into the first team at Arsenal. And you know what? Fair play to Tyreece John-Jules, first of all, for coming out and saying all that, and also saying all the stuff about the manager. And this just further highlights how good Darren Moore is at recruiting and how brilliant he is and how, specifically targeted his recruiting is. The fact that we beat a load of League One clubs that, some of them, if not nearly most of them, are a higher stature and status than us, and the fact we've also beaten a few Championship clubs to his signature, says to me that we have one of the best recruitment teams in English football, especially arguably the ones below the Premier League. And Darren Moore is a giant in recruiting youngsters, so I knew straight away that this was going to be a very, very good recruitment job from Darren Moore this season, and I think we've done some fantastic stuff here. And we've uncovered some hidden gems in this team. Brad Halliday, released by Cambridge, right back. He's proven to be one of our best right backs for a few years now. Anderson and Wright, I spoke about that pairing. On loan from Burnley, Tom Anderson at first. free from Huddersfield, Joe Wright, and they've been arguably the best centre-back pairing in League One, and arguably one of the best centre-back pairings and consistent centre-back pairings in, the 3 divisions below the Premier League, in my opinion. And, we've got a side capable of getting promoted year upon year upon year. It's just adding to it now. And Tyreece John-Jules has been added to that quality, and he's just shown why he's been added. So, I've got no doubt that Tyreece John-Jules will break into that first team. Number one, because we are great with our loanees. We take care of them. We nurture them. We get them to their potential before we send them back out, or we loan them back in, or, like Cameron John's situation, get them in permanently. So, he's not afraid. Mikel Arteta's not afraid. The Arsenal squad are not afraid. And hopefully, sooner or later, Tyreece John-Jules will be competing for the position currently held by the likes of Alexandre Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They're the star strikers at Arsenal at the minute, Lacazette and Aubameyang. And I've got no doubt that John-Jules will try and break into that mould and try and break into the first team. But while he's at Doncaster Rovers, we are giving him the first team football and the physicality that he needs to compete with Lacazette and Aubameyang for a place in the Arsenal team. And, I think if John-Jules does become a big success, which I've got no doubts he will, I think some of that will be down to his early development, which includes Donny Rovers. So, it's good to be part of this kid's history and sort of keep building him up ready for that first team football spot. So that is the story on John-Jules. Now we've got a big story to share with you on fans back in stadiums on October 1st, because it won't be happening. Big story from the Doncaster Free Press once again, and Doncaster Rovers will not be welcoming back fans to the Keepmoat from the 1st of October. Plans for the return of football supporters to stadiums from October 1st have been halted, the government has confirmed. Clubs have been preparing for several months in order to be ready to welcome back crowds in limited number from next month, and last weekend the pilot scheme was extended in the EFL with 7 matches, seating crowds of up to 1,000 people attending, including Doncaster's trip to Charlton, where we won 3-1. But with concern over the rising infection rates of COVID-19, the government have paused the plans. The UK COVID alert has been set to 4, which indicates transmission of the virus is high or rising exponentially. Cabinet Officer Minister Michael Gove confirmed the pausing of the return of fans, with Prime Minister Boris Johnson due to address the country this afternoon. But the government has also said they remain committed to their programme of bringing people back to stadiums as soon as possible. And speaking to the BBC, Michael Gove said we were looking at a staged programme of more people returning. It wasn't going to be the case that we were going to have stadiums thronged with fans. We are looking at how we can, for the moment, pause for the programme. But what we do want to do is make sure that, and when circumstances allow, get more people back. The virus is less likely to spread outdoors than indoors, but again, it's in the nature of major sporting events that there's a lot of mingling. He added, what we must do is look at sporting events now with caution, but we also recognise that sport is a vital part of this nation, and we are looking at everything we can do to support the athletes, our great clubs, through what will be a challenging time. The news is likely to cause concern amongst football clubs, particularly those in the lower leagues who are heavily reliant on matchday income for their operation. Rovers drew up their budgets based on a model of fans returning in January, but would still see their business impacted if income streams are not restarted in the coming weeks. So, big story there from fans not coming back in stadiums on October 1st. Like I said, there is going to be a countrywide announcement from the Prime Minister Boris Johnson this afternoon, so make sure you go and stay tuned to that. I know I will. Like I always do with all these announcements, I always keep up to date with them. It is sad, but if you've got rising cases, then there's no other way you can go. You have to do this. But on the flip side of that, it is a bit of a kick in the backside for lower league clubs especially, that rely on matchday income to keep their financial status afloat and to keep it from going under into the dangerous and critical situations. I was talking about this in a Rovers fan group, and I saw something, and you know what, I agree with it. We now need bigger sponsors. We need like a full sponsorship. We need shirt sponsors, sleeve sponsors. We need League One and League Two, like the Championship's been getting, like the Premier League's absolutely been getting. We need League One and League Two to get the same kind of level of investment by the leagues that the other top two divisions have got. We need League One and League Two now to get the same respect the Championship is. And to be fair, Michael Gove said the lower league clubs especially who rely on match day incomes to, survive. Yes, COVID will affect that. But on the other hand of that, the EFL could have done something about it. It's like the knee, for example. Now, I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but Coventry and QPR, players didn't take the knee. And, I think it was QPR's manager or Coventry's manager that came out and said, we haven't been given a direct view on what to do and what, duration of time do we do it. And they said that the leagues need to, sort this. That's another thing the EFL don't respect. The fact that, and there's a big debate now of whether the knee should be a long-running thing. Do we keep doing it? Do we, even though we keep doing it, does the message get out there about Black Lives Matter and things like that? I'm not going to go into that whole debate. It's just too difficult to go through. But, if you want my honest opinion, I would say keep doing the knee, because it means if you keep doing it, then the message will keep getting out there and people might actually start listening and make a change. But going back to the fans thing, right? The lower league clubs not getting any income from match days and they're being the most affected. EFL could do something about that. Well, we have past track records with the EFL. Macclesfield Town, they folded. Charlton can't get taken over until the end of November now with this new injunction. Wigan, no idea what's happening with them. Apparently there were some bids rejected because they were apparently too low. Judging by the EFL standards, they were probably too high. But, you've got to think of it and think, well, hang on a minute. League One, League Two need more investment. They need more respect for them to help stay afloat. The Championship clubs will be fine. With the salary caps being added to League One and League Two, it's like they've forgot about League One and League Two. And it's like the Championship and Premier League are in a whole different level. Championship's just a bit lower than Premier League, but they're in like a different level compared to League One and League Two. Salary caps make it more about the Championship and Premier League and keep League One and League Two. League One and League Two feel like non-leagues. They feel like non-leagues to some people because they're not getting the same investment and respect. And I think that's needed. Yes, we have the EFL on Quest, which is a fantastic show. Colin Murray does a fantastic job with that show, along with, the guest pundits, Dean Ashton, Paul Cook was on there a couple of weeks ago. So, they've got a good show with that. But we need more. We need shirt sponsors. We need sleeve sponsors. We need short sponsors. We need even stadium advertisements. We need more stadium advertisements. And not just the local ones, but the worldwide ones, like the Championship and the Premier League have. We need another set of coverage. We need more coverage for League One and League Two. Not just EFL and Quest with the highlights and the eyeful of streams. But we need, even if it's just backup channels, we need like a Sky Sports we need like a Sky Sports League One and a Sky Sports League Two and a BT League One and a BT League Two. We need these streams to help bring in more income, because League One and League Two need the same amount of respect the Championship has and the Premier League definitely has. And, we need that more respect to help us keep financially stable. And if they don't do that, then League One, League Two clubs are going to have to fear the worst. And there's a few people that fear the worst on the back of this news. The fans won't be back in October 1st. So, people fear the worst now. And League One, League Two should have got more respect even before this all came about. And the EFL are at fault for that. So, it is what it is. Fans can't come back in the stadiums on October 1st. I'm not too sure exactly what that means then for this weekend in terms of the fans pilot scheme, whether it's just a select number of games, because don't forget last weekend it was 3 League One games. There was 2 Championship games. The Luton one was going to be a third, but that one was denied at the last minute. So Luton Derby didn't got cancelled in terms of fans being in the stadium. So there was only 2 Championship games, 3 League One and 3 League Two. So again, is it going to be that formula again? Are we looking at that specific formula? Are we going to have 3 Championship games now instead? We'll have to see with that. But, if they do go ahead with that, only a select number of games, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I think it's definitely clear that the Keepmoat Stadium will not be one of them this weekend against Bristol Rovers. It looks like it will just be an eye follow watch only. But, you got to do what you got to do, haven't you, to watch football? If it's going to be from home, then fair enough. But, EFL just need to help invest in League One, League Two, and not lead them to the side and forget about them. Moving in then to our final story, and this is from John Marquis, our former striker, and the support he's been receiving from his Portsmouth fan base about drawing the blank in Sunday's game against Rochdale. So officially from the Pompey News, or the news, dedicated to Pompey News, the Pompey fans on social media have leapt to John Marquis' defence after the striker said he felt responsible for Pompey's failure to beat Rochdale on Sunday. The Blues frontman missed 3 golden opportunities in the second half at the Crown Oil Arena, wasted chances which proved costly as Kenny Jackett's side returned south with only a goalless draw to show for their efforts. It prompted the former Doncaster Rovers ace to write a heartfelt message on Fratton Faithful on Twitter, with Pompey's top joint scorer last season apologising for his lack of killer instinct against Rochdale. And it appears his efforts to explain himself went down well with the Blues supporters. Now, rather than mock them for the misses, the vast majority of responses put a collective Twitter arm around Marquis and encouraged him to keep going in these difficult times. Here's a selection of the responses. Fair play, John. Slow start to games aren't acceptable, but as long as you recognise the problems and you have desire and effort to resolve them with your teammates, you will have my full support. I can't speak for every Pompey fan, but I feel most would agree. Another response said, fair play, mate. Hopefully when we'll see Jacobs playing behind you, we'll see more chances falling to you. Can't imagine you're only getting 1 or 2 chances per game. The pressure to put them away is causing you to snatch at them. More chances equals more goals, common sense reality. Another response said, wouldn't even worry yourself with it, mate. Must have felt weird you having a few chances, seeing as in most games the ball is 20 feet over your head towards the corner flag, so it probably took you by surprise. Another response said, fair play for this statement, John, but you've nothing to apologise for. Any striker worth their weight in gold still has bad games or missed opportunities. With your work ethic, anybody can see that you care. Another response said, John, not your fault. The team we have playing the right way will create you a bucket load of chances, rather than the stale brand of football you've been asked to play at the minute. Another response said, unfortunately, John, you are played solo up front and without being too critical, getting up to head the ball is not your strongest feature, along with shooting from a distance. You need to play with Harrison. Another response said, not John's fault at all. Playing under Kenny must be hard work. How can he go from smashing it in at Doncaster to standing mostly on the halfway line for us, cause there is such a lack of service? Another response said, great statement, but Sunday was at more than one. Fair play for admitting it, John, head up. And then another response said, full respect, but keep your head up, mate. We know you're a goal scorer, that one tapping or even a deflected goal and your look will change. Just need to keep getting you the chances, which is key part. We've had other responses, like you're playing in a system which doesn't suit you. Look at your Stevenage goal class. No need to apologise, John. Probably just shocked to actually get a couple of decent deliveries for once. Took us all by surprise, that. So a lot of response to John Marquis, and this is what I think to them. So there we go. That is looking at the responses on social media to John Marquis' statement, apologising for the performance against Rochdale. Now, I know a lot of Doncaster fans are watching this thinking, why are you reporting on this? He's a former player. I like to keep up to date with former players, for one, and I felt like this was something I wanted to share my thoughts on, because I know Marquis was getting a lot, and you know, most of the responses were positive from the fans of Portsmouth, but I know there's a few minorities out there that were being critical of John Marquis. And the one thing I say to them fans is shut up, because it's not John Marquis' fault. Fair play, came out. Not a lot of Premier League players do this. Some do this, but not a lot of Premier League players do this after performances. I know that, you know, a lot of Man United players did not come out and apologise for that Crystal Palace performance, and this is the difference between this goes back to that point where I mentioned that League 1 and League 2 need more investment. They need more respect. League 1 players, and you know, League 2 and Championship do it as well. League 1 players come out and apologise more than Premier League players do for their performances. About most of the Man U squad didn't come out and apologise. Luke Shaw said the exact right things. Patrice Evra, it took a former player to come out and say the right things about the Crystal Palace defeat and directed it towards their ownership. But again, the ownership, and you know, they believe they're not going to listen to ex-players, and you know, Man U are doomed in my opinion. But you know, take it into account, League 1 players actually come out and admit it. You know, players don't, it's not like the Premier League where they actually just blame somebody else or they don't apologise at all and they'll just say we'll come back again. Like they're riding, like they're going through the motions or anything like that with their massive paycheck. League One players actually come out and apologise if they have bad performances. But in this instant, John Marquis, fair play to this statement. Head up, John, because you're a good player. You were fantastic for Donny Rovers. We could have a laugh and a joke and call you the B-Tech Andy Carroll, but in reality, you've probably got a better scoring record than Andy Carroll right now. But, fair play to the apology. Keep your head up, mate. But you didn't need to apologise because I was watching. Now, Doncaster Rovers weren't playing on Sunday, so I got the daily reports up before the kick-off of Rochdale Portsmouth, and I managed to watch that game. And one thing that really got to me is the fact that John didn't get the service, and Jacobs needs to be playing behind Marquis, not at the side of him. So, and I said in my predictions for League One, I said if Portsmouth don't get promoted, the massive, people with a brain cell, what they would do is sack Kenny Jackett. And, I think if Portsmouth keep going the way they're going, they'll probably sack Kenny Jackett before Christmas, for goodness sakes. But looking at the play that Portsmouth were doing, and I was predicting a 2-3-1 smashing from Portsmouth. No offence to Rochdale, but Rochdale did really well to hold on against Portsmouth. But Portsmouth let them hold on because Portsmouth were not in the best frame of mind, in my opinion. They weren't playing the best football. They were playing stalemate football, and John just wasn't getting the service, And, we can be critical of players, but we can also support them if they are apologising for other people's mistakes. Yes, there was a few chances they could have scored, but people have bad games, We're not going to hold it against someone. So, in my opinion, Marquis has got hardly anything to apologise for because it should be his teammates that were playing with him that should have delivered him the balls in to score that should be apologising. Now, whether they have or they haven't, I haven't looked. If they have, fair enough. If they haven't, then that's a disgrace. The fact that the person that should be getting the service is actually apologising for their mistakes as well. It's just not on, and it kind of shows to you. I mean, if they haven't apologised, but John has, it shows you the kind of situation Portsmouth's in right now. And, whether I'm saying Marquis come back to Rovers if you're not doing well at Portsmouth in January, I'm not saying that. If you want to stay at Portsmouth and be number one, feel free. But I reckon if you do get moved on, come back to Rovers and we'll give you the service you deserve. But, to be fair, we do have a lot of competition in that position now with JohnJules, with Tulloch when he's not injured, and obviously for Jiri Okunabiri. So, I think we've moved on from Marquis. But, you've got to feel sorry for Marquis. You've really got to feel sorry for him because he's not getting the service and he's actually apologising, and the other ones at the side of him that should be doing better than him and should be doing better with the service are actually not apologising. So, it kind of proves to you what the situation at Portsmouth really is right now, and it kind of highlights the fact that Kenny Jackett should be sacked. I know we're only a couple of games into the season, but if things don't improve for Portsmouth, then they could be in a relegation fight, and that's something that Kenny Jackett did not want, because don't forget, they were in the playoffs 2 years in a row. This last season and the season before, they were in the playoffs and they got eliminated in the semi-finals both times. They got eliminated by Sunderland in the semi-finals 2 years ago, and then last season they were eliminated on penalties to Oxford, who ended up losing the final. And that's another semi-final exit. If Portsmouth aren't in the playoff hunt by Christmas, Kenny Jackett must be sacked, and someone else comes in and gives Marquis a better formation to work with, that gives him the service, really. So I don't put most of the blame on Marquis for that performance. I put the blame on the people that should have given him the service. And I'm sure Portsmouth fans, if you're watching this, you can comment down below if you want, but you might agree with me. Marquis should have missed a couple of chances, and yes, should have scored them, but the people delivering the service should have done better, in my opinion. So, I mean, think of that what you will. I just wanted to do my thoughts on this because I think it was unfair that Marquis was, apologising for other people's mistakes, but, it is what it is, and hopefully he can improve in a Portsmouth shirt. But Thank you very much, guys, for watching this episode, today's episode of the DRFC Daily Reports. Of course, if there's any more Rovers news, we're still awaiting details on the Tulloch injury and the James injury, so of course hopefully we'll get that news coming out tomorrow. So of course any more Doncaster news that comes out tomorrow on the Wednesday, I will do a video on that. I am looking at some other Doncaster Rovers videos, so I'm looking at doing some other footy videos, maybe get some nationalities together and try and do the top nationalities in the club's history in that nationality. I might do that kind of video, so it'll be interesting to see if we do go ahead with that. Make sure you stay tuned if we do. But for now, at least, it'll be just DRFC Daily Reports daily up until, of course, the Friday, which is, of course, our match preview for the Bristol Rovers game. I'll be delivering you my predicted lineup and share with you my thoughts on what the predicted scoreline will be and who I think will perform and who might not. Thank you very much, guys. I am the CHALL. Please like, comment, subscribe for more Doncaster Rovers content. I want to be the AFTV of League One. And for now, guys, goodbye.